Hello guys, I have come to surprise you. Welcome one and all to a very late third installment of the third Hunger Games band member edition. With the help of me being very big brain, I have managed to save the Hunger Games and now it won't collect dust in the attic anymore. However, before we begin, I'm actually gonna say a few things because by no means is it the same as before. First of all, I'm using a different website for this. I can simply upload images I have on my computer to associate them with attributes, so now the images won't die on me. But second of all, there's a con to this. Apparently the tributes places don't shuffle around, meaning it won't be as entertaining because we have to watch this stuff go down in order. I don't know, I think the tributes getting shuffled around actually made it fun. Hey, I'll try to work my way around it though. Now I think that's all I needed to say. Basically, I migrated websites and now the images won't suddenly die on me. You may be asking me if this means anything significant for the cast. Wait, no, I did indeed replace someone. Everyone welcome Solsica to the Hunger Games. He replaced someone that deserved to be replaced. Last time I played Hunger Games on my own, that someone literally killed his former band member. I used that as my sign to replace him. I'd send the full cast, but there's so many advertisements the tribute columns get broken up. Just take it from me, the cast is still the same besides Solsica, Aka, Austin Knight. Okay, now let's begin so we can crown someone as best band member of the month. There is no intro text, so we're just starting right away. Get prepared for more images, I can only fit 2 at a time. Gerard grabs a backpack but it's not zipped and most of the supplies fall out. Frankie is in shock for a moment, but then retreats away from the cornucopia. This site has some grammar errors too. Mikey and Rayfro share everything they gathered before running. Cinnamon Roll clutches a first aid kit and runs away. Pete grabs a shield from the ground. Andy snatches some arrows from the cornucopia. Joe grabs a pack full of supplies and retreats. Dwastin finds a jug full of fresh water. Ron also grabs a backpack but does the same thing Gerard did. It isn't zipped and most of the supplies fall out. Fallout Boy, am I right? Adam breaks Corey's nose for a basket of bread. What? Never mind actually. Brock breaks Siobhan's nose for a basket of bread. These two are married, by the way. Wow. Susanna accidentally steps on a landmine. Oh okay. Why are the girls already suffering? Mariko stays at the cornucopia for resources. Good idea actually. Tyler dashes to the forest to avoid the bloodbath. Don't say what I think you're going to say. Jish and Dallin both go for the same axe. Jish gives up and retreats. Anthony takes a couple of explosives from near the cornucopia. Solsica takes a handful of throwing knives from the ground and retreats. Riro scores a bar mace from inside the cornucopia. Oh, also Zero breaks Ernie's nose for a basket of bread. No comment, just wow. Gerard questions his sanity. Same. Frankie begs for Mikey to kill him. He refuses, keeping Frankie alive. Thanks Mikey. Rayfro bashes Cinnamon Roll's head in with a mace. Not like this, oh my god. Pete, Andy, and Joe hunt for other tributes. Well, it's the rest of Fallout Boy working together, right? Dwastin has a mild panic attack. Feel bad for him honestly. Ron hides in a bush, terrified and scared. Adam dreams about home back at his district. Corey accidentally slips on a rock and tumbles down a cliff. Guys, why are the Starset members dying off by getting themselves into accidents? This isn't what I meant either. Brock begs for Siobhan to kill him. She refuses, keeping Brock alive. This is wholesome if we ignore the fact he literally broke her nose for a basket of bread. Mariko sees smoke rising in the distance and wonders who is responsible. Tyler tends to Jish's wounds. Dallin wonders what Anthony is up to. Both of these are perfect, just don't think about the first one in a ship kind of way. Please, I don't mean in a ship kind of way. Solsica hides in a bush, terrified and scared. Riro practices his knife throwing and archery. Something tells me there's a grammatical error in that, but I can't be bothered. Zero defeats Ernie in a fight, but spares his life. This same dog broke the other dog's nose, but you know what, maybe they truced. Only Cinnamon Roll, Susanna, and Corey have fallen so far. Gerard receives a hatchet and water from an unknown sponsor. Frankie, Mikey, Rayfro, and Pete joke with each other. Andy questions his sanity. Poor Andy. Joe sets up camp for the night. Dwastin receives a gourmet 5-course meal from an unknown sponsor, and this is a good thing. Ron and Adam decide to make a peace treaty to make it through the night. Brock questions his sanity. Siobhan leaves Mariko, Tyler, and Jish because she does not like their plan to kill more people. No comment. They haven't even killed anyone. Hello, Dallin, Anthony, and Solsika sing songs together, hoping for the best. This is true actually. Riro is repeatedly awoken by nightmares. Poor Riro. Zero spears Ernie in the abdomen. Wow, this is betrayal on a whole new level, and now I'm scared of Zero again. Gerard scares Frankie off into the distance. Mikey camouflages himself in a cave-type area. Rafro receives a bow and arrow from a sponsor. Pete receives healthy food from a sponsor. Andy fishes in the water for some food. Joe tries to sleep in order to reduce stress. Dwastin thinks about his family and starts crying. Why did this actually make me sad? What the hell? Ron, Adam, and Brock successfully ambush and kill the entire camp of Siobhan, Mariko, and Tyler. Guys, I need to step outside and scream really quick. Well, there goes the girls. Brock was part of it too, so he technically killed his own wife. This game is trying to make me emo again. Jish chases Dallin. I know you're upset about Tyler's death, but don't you dare add fuel to the fire. Anthony also camouflages himself in a cave-type area. Solsika sees Riro but decides to stay quiet and let him pass. Austin would not do this. He would be as loud as possible, I feel. Zero picks non-poisonous fruit from a tree. Ernie, cinnamon roll, Tyler, Mariko, Susanna, Siobhan, and Corey have all fallen so far. Before we continue, who are you rooting for? Who knows, maybe the person or animal you're rooting for will win. Feel free to say. All I know is I need to keep my mouth shut. Gerard sleeps in a small increments, waking up to every little noise. Frankie, Mikey, and Rafro discuss a gamma plan for the morning. Why is Gerard suffering while the rest of MCR is just discussing? Pete wounds Andy in a confrontation, but spares his life. As Patrick once said, thanks Pete. Joe falls asleep to the sound of people screaming. Wow. Dwastin stays awake all night on pure adrenaline. Why is this man suffering? Ron and Adam decide to make a wait a second, didn't this happen the night before? Am I going through deja vu? What the f? Wait, I'm sorry, this is supposed to be a family-friendly channel. Guys, I briefly saw the crowless thing scrolling down to the other messages, but I need to get to these first. I'm scared. All I saw were images and one had red tint on it. Brock attempts to start a fire, but is unsuccessful given the lack of materials available. Jish receives medical supplies and nuts from an unknown sponsor. Guys, I bet some of you have quite a wild mind, but do not say anything about this. Especially this. Dallin repeatedly stabs Anthony to death with a katana. Friendly fire will not be tolerated. This is a tragic loss. What the hell? This is what happens when you're the #1 Anthony supporter. Anything bad that happens to him in this game hurts. I need these tributes shuffled around and I need it to happen now. Sorry, I had to scream again. Let's continue. Solsika looks at the night sky and wonders if it's real. It's about the stars, by the way. It's just worded so horribly I had to reword it myself. Riro receives clean water from an unknown sponsor. Zero tries to treat her infection with water and grass. She may just be the smartest I know. Gerard makes a slingshot with materials from the ground. Frankie receives healthy food from a sponsor. You know what? Unknown sponsor sounds much better. I'm going to say that from now on. Mikey tries to sleep in order to reduce stress. Rafro sees poisonous fog but manages to escape. Pete sees Andy but decides to stay quiet and let him pass. Joe camouflages himself in a cave-type area. Dwastin begs for Ron to kill him. He refuses, keeping Dwastin alive. Thanks Ron. Genuinely, why is it so depressing on Dustin's side? What the hell? Adam and Brock create an alliance. Jish sings a song while searching for a food source. He finally finds some wild berries. Player 4 is killed after being bitten by a poisonous snake. Guys, who the hell is Player 4? The image isn't even red. What? Guys, I'm going to look at the tributes list to confirm this eventually. I'm just as confused as you are. We have other tributes to look at. First go. Solsika receives a water spile from an unknown sponsor. Trust me, it was googled for me once. I still don't know what a spile is. Riro explores the arena. Zero hides in a bush, terrified and scared. Oh, what the hell? Ernie, cinnamon roll, Anthony, Tyler, Mariko, Susanna, Siobhan, and Corey have all fallen. But also I think that player 4 thing bugged the entire thing out because Dallin is still classified as alive. This website's fairly new compared to the one I used, so it probably still has a few remaining bugs, but that one caught me off guard. It appears as I'm doing a video. We can just say the snake bite never happened. Gerard and Frankie talk about the tributes who are either dead or still alive. Mikey receives a gourmet 5-course meal from an unknown sponsor. Rayfro huddles up next to a fire and cooks the meat he hunted earlier in the day. Pete tends to his wounds with leaves and water. Andy steals Joe's supplies while he is asleep. Dwastin and Ron create a fort for the night. Adam attempts to climb a super tall tree, but falls to his death. Brock and Jish tell stories about their districts and lives to each other. Dallin cries himself to sleep. Guys, I think the whole Anthony thing may have to do with it. I don't know, something just tells me. That changes nothing though, this still made me sad. Solsica attempts to start a fire, but is unsuccessful given the lack of materials available. Riro convinces Zero to stand guard for the night while he sleeps. This is funny to me, I don't know man. Ryan putting full trust into a dog to protect him. Gerard and Frankie hunt for other tributes. Don't say anything. Mikey sprains his ankle running away from Rayfro. Ray, that's your bandmate, get away from him. Pete climbs a tree to make a resting spot. Andy chases Joe for over a mile before making the kill. Friendly fire will not be tolerated. This is the second time, come on. Dwastin sees Ron but decides to stay quiet and let him pass. Brock climbs a tree to make a resting spot. Jish receives medical supplies from an unknown sponsor. This is the most weird formatting I've ever seen. What? Dallin, Solsica, Riro, and Zero hunt for other tributes. Formatting's weird, but this is indeed quite the group. There are too many fallen tributes to call them out. Oh wait, there's no names, I have to. Ernie, Cinnamon Roll, Anthony, Tyler, Mariko, Susanna, Siobhan, Joe, Corey, and Adam have all fallen so far. Gerard and Frankie run into Mikey, Rayfro, and Pete. They all make temporary peace. Once again, friendly fire isn't tolerated. Andy receives a hatchet and water from an unknown sponsor. Speaking of friendly fire, Dwastin sets off a string of trap explosives killing Ron, Brock, Jish, and Dallin. This is friendly fire on a whole new level. Guys, I'm going to jump out of my window, goodbye. How do I process this? Why is everyone killing each other off? This is too much, I'm emo now. Solsica quietly hums in the night. Player 4 approaches Zero's campsite and asks to create an alliance. Player 4 is back, guys. Is Player 4 just this weird force thing that mimics the tribute it takes over? What is it? It's gotten to Dallin and Ryan already. Okay, no more questions, I should continue. Gerard dies mysteriously after going on a diatribe about the Hunger Games. Oh great, now how will we go on? Frankie searches for water. Mikey picks non-poisonous fruit from a tree. Rayfro injures himself tripping over a log. Pete also picks non-poisonous fruit from a tree. Andy tries to kill a squirrel with an arrow. Dwastin practices his knife throwing and archery. Something about this sentence still seems off, but I can't figure it out. Solsica sings a song while searching for a food source. He finally finds some wild berries. Riro receives healthy food from an unknown sponsor. Zero has a mild panic attack. Yeah, because she has no... Sorry guys, I am never saying that again. Okay, so basically everyone's dead except for Riro, Mikey, Rayfro, Pete, Andy, Dwastin, Solsica, Zero, and Frankie. Frankie attempts to start a fire, but is unsuccessful given the lack of materials available. Guys, the next part may be triggering to some people. Please skip to the following timestamp if you don't wanna see or hear anything. Proceed with caution. You have been warned. Now let's continue. Mikey cannot handle the stress and decides to commit suicide. Guys, I'm emo again. I'm going to dive out a window while doing the soul voice, I swear to God. Rayfro climbs a tree to get some rest. Pete receives a gourmet 5-course meal from an unknown sponsor. Andy convinces Dwastin to stand guard for the night while he sleeps. Solsica feels delirious and forgets where he is. Riro and Zero talk about the tributes who are either dead or still alive. Frankie constructs a shelter with some sticks and grass. Rayfro explores the arena. Pete receives healthy food from an unknown sponsor. Andy dies of dysentery. Guys, I found out what dysentery meant while doing Hunger Games with a few friends of mine the other day, and I don't wanna talk about it. This is probably the most embarrassing death one could have besides the landmine though. God, why did it have to happen to Andy? Dustin climbs a tree to make a resting spot. Here's the tree. I'm not even kidding, Dustin is like 6'3" I believe. The man is tall and I'm afraid he'd tower over me if I ever meet him. I'm a small 5' nothing girl, okay. Solsica and Riro build a fort out of sticks and leaves. Zero searches for water. Riro, Rayfro, Pete, Dustin, Solsica, Zero, and Frankie are the only ones left. Frankie attempts to climb a super tall tree, but falls to his death. Goddammit. Rayfro is unable to start a fire and is extremely uncomfortable. Pete wounds Dustin in a confrontation, but spares his life.
Thanks, Pete.
Solsica starts a campfire with materials on the ground. Riro and Zero talk about the wait, it's deja vu again. Rayfro and Pete build a fort out of sticks and leaves. Dustin receives medical supplies from an unknown sponsor. Solsica is trampled to death by boulders falling down a mountain. Poor Austin died in his first Hunger Games. In the finals too. Welp, there's next month at least. Riro receives healing ointment from an unknown sponsor. Zero sees smoke rising in the distance and wonders who is responsible. Only Riro, Rayfro, Pete, Dustin, and Zero are left. Rayfro cries himself to sleep. I'm sad now, poor Ray. Pete poisons Dustin's drink, but Dustin knowingly switches drinks and Pete dies. Holy crap. Riro falls asleep shivering from a fever. Poor Iron. Zero sees a fire, but stays in place. Rayfro picks non-poisonous fruit from a tree. Dustin convinces Riro to not kill him, but then Dustin is able to kill Riro instead. Poor guy had a fever and now he's dead. Can any of these guys get a break, man? Also, Zero bleeds out from a wound basically left untreated. It's all up to Dustin and Rayfro. Guys, I thought someone was gonna die, but no. Rayfro and Dustin fall asleep holding hands. What? Rayfro sets the bush that Dustin is hiding in on fire, killing him. Oh my god. Well guys, I'm actually very sad about Dustin's loss, but it's okay, I love Ray too. Ray Toro is the best band member of this month. Well, that was something. Hey guys, feel free to tell me in the comments if you like the whole new Hunger Games setup thing, whatever you wanna call it. Not only is it a new website altogether, but yeah, it's the same premise but it does some things differently. If you like it, I can do this as a proper series again, just like I promised. Okay, that's all from me. I'm going to sob in the corner of my bedroom like I always do. It's my job, you all know this by now. Farewell until then.